UFC 286, Leon Edwards vs. Kamaru Usman. Significant strikes, innumerable blows, and a super energetic performance to be followed. An electrifying trilogy just came to a close with the recent exhilarating match between Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman. Were the results as the critics and fans had predicted? Was it a technical knockout or an unnerving knockout? Did the Nigerian Nightmare take his revenge and title back, proving himself extraordinary? Or did Rocky give him another setback by taking advantage of his anxiety? The third fight between the most sought-after duo happened on March 19th at the O2 Arena, and the results are ever more startling. UFC, or Ultimate Fighting Championship, has produced several greats, exciting fights, and undisputed fighting champions since its inception in 1993. Still, the exciting trilogy spell between the current welterweight champion, Leon Edwards, and his critically acclaimed opponent, Kamaru Usman, has been in the air for some time. Previously on UFC, Leon Edwards, also known as Rocky, had encountered Kamaru Usman, known as the Nigerian Nightmare, twice in 2015 and 2022. Fight 1. Usman won the first match of 2015 via unanimous decision
Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare,
by giving his undefeatable and promising performance with 48 splendid strikes as opposed to Edwards, which were only 26. The Nigerian also dominated on the mat, where 6 of his 13 takedown attempts were successful. This allowed Usman to acquire 10 minutes and 50 seconds of control time on the ground, compared to only 40 seconds for Edwards. Usman was a far better opponent in the fight, and he would always be victorious whenever these two would enter the octagon. But what happened on August 20th, 2022 caught many by surprise. Fight 2. Many expected Kamaru Usman to repeat his dominant performance against Leon Edwards in their rematch, but Edwards had other plans. He made an astonishing and unanticipated leap by taking his revenge in the UFC 278 main event in 2022 and knocked out Usman with a left head kick.
Which he has caught. I mean, that is a dejected...
Acquiring the UFC Championship belt. Having one win and one loss to their wins, the fighters and the fans worldwide have been looking forward to March 18th of this year, when the third fight would decide who deserved to be the true victor. The anticipation enthralled the spectators to the core. But before we discuss what happened in the third fight on March 18, let's see what happened during and after the second fight. Well, in the second fight between the two, ESPN ranked number 3. And the crowd's all-time favorite Usman lost to Edwards, ranked number 7 despite his 5 successful defensive rounds. It shocked the MMA fans, as it could not have been more unexpected. Among all the slogans and cries rooting for the Nigerian Nightmare, Leon scored his place in the top tier with his near-perfect knockout kick. This massive knockout traumatized Usman to the core, as his championship title and the support from his admirers were at stake. Thus, this physical encounter scenario took a shift inside out and turned into a rather convoluted psychological game. Usman was overwhelmed by a flight, fearing that Edwards would have a mental advantage over him in the Saturday night fight. In the last pre-fight press conference, Usman and Edwards shared their stances on the previous thrilling secession and elucidated their expectations from the upcoming third fight. In his defense, Usman told the media, "There is no such thing as a mistake. It was a learning experience. But we corrected that. We get back on the horse and do what greatness requires."
No such thing as a mistake. It was a learning experience. We correct that, we get back on the horse and do what greatness requires.
Adding to his statement that exposed his internal dilemma and nervousness, he said there is a lot that comes with being a champion.
There's a lot that comes with being, the champion.
In the final moments of the press conference, Usman launched a verbal assault on Edwards, warning him of his superior fighting skills and repetitive spell of "Come on, Rocky. Don't let him bully you, son." which is one of the most iconic lines he ever said. The fans can't get enough of it. Talking of the final face-offs between the two, the frightening stare-down revealed that the 170-pound opponents were more than ready and bursting with energy for the final meet. The crowd seemed to be rooting for the man of the hour, Leon "Rocky" Edwards, as Kamaru Usman seemed shaky, a bit off the usual confidence and composure. In an analytical discussion, Sean Madden, a striking independent coach, took to illuminating Usman's quality trait as he said, "With Usman, it's his discipline. And ironically, it's that discipline and maybe a small mental lapse in the last fight cost him everything he had. But if you look at his whole body of work, what it's taken to stay at the top as long as he did, you can't do that without supreme discipline. He has such an elite championship mindset. I think the way he fights, the way he approaches things in terms of his training, his fight camps, his discipline, and his championship mindset are his best traits." Pointing out Edwards' best trait as a fighter, he complimented him on his resilience. From the Extreme Coacher head coach, Eric Nixick, Usman's ability to occupy the eye level and defense, and his way with space was his edge. He appreciated Leon's lateral movements and switching stances that enabled him to sweep Usman off at the end of the second fight. Tom Aspinall, the UFC heavyweight contender, deterministically said, "I think Leon can beat him. I definitely think Leon can beat him. He's done it once, and he can do it again." Seconding Aspinall's stance, the famous YouTuber and boxer KSI supposed that since England is Leon's home ground, and the crowd inspired his previous win would be wild, the hype would buck Edwards up for bagging the win once again. This guy is now a world champion. He's fighting on home soil against the guy who was the former pound-for-pound #1, the guy who he just sparked unconscious. As long as Leon keeps that confidence in his head, knowing that he's done it once and he'll do it again, and all he's got to do is find that one shot, I think Leon wins, explained Ian Gary. The KSW heavyweight champion Phil DeFries also favored Rocky as he told the media, "You know, the confidence. He's feeling great and will be on home turf. I mean, Usman could be the best welterweight ever. You can never count that guy out, but I'm backing Rocky." Piling up all the opinions, it was tacit that no one quite saw Usman as being able to fight his insecurity that proceeded to his last fight and secure the title this time. His chances seemed bleak to all, given the scenario and the location of the forthcoming fight. Fight 3. It's March 18th, and the venue is the O2 Arena. One of the two supercharged fighters will be victorious. Who did it work out for? Yes, just like most of the experts predicted, Leon Edwards showered a spell of powerful offensive leg kicks on Usman, and it was no surprise that he held his belt victorious in the ring via the majority's decision. It was astonishing to see the level of composure and confidence Rocky possessed, being constantly backed up by the supporters from his home ground. But those clear strikes, those effective defenses against Usman's signature moves, and some of the off-the-chart moves of his own, earned him his victory, bringing a promising close to the fiery trilogy between the two. Not that Usman did not fight back to the fullest of his potential. He sometimes came on to Leon, even defending successfully against a knockout attempt when Edwards pounced on him to land a headshot. Edwards did more damage, crushing Kamaru's chance to regain his title. Edwards did make a foul move, and he grabbed the fence that deducted him a point, but he did not let this go to his head. The crowd erupted with Edwards headshot dead as the match ended.
Headshot dead! Headshot dead! Headshot dead!
A hell of a fight, and the era of Rocky endures. After a devastating defeat in the post-match octagon interview, Kamaru Usman said he had a great game plan. "I always said from the start we'd meet again, and I'm not done. We will see each other again."
I think I did enough to win the fight, but, I knew it was a close fight. Great game plan, great game plan. I've always said it from the start. I knew I would see Leon again. I'm not done. I'll see him again. but he put on a hell of a game plan.
Complimenting his opponent's impressive triumph, he added, "I always gave him props for what he'd accomplished. He's a brother, like myself, and great respect. London, you've got yourself a great champion."
I've always gave him props for everything he's been able to accomplish. He's a brother like myself, and much respect. London, you got yourself a hell of a guy, a great champion. London, what you saying?
Leon Edwards, on the other hand, thanked Usman for being a competitor and expressed his delight at his win. On encountering Colby Covington next, according to Dana White's plan, he told the media, "I'm the king now. I've earned my way and should decide who's next." What was your prediction for this fight? Did it turn out as you had expected? Pour out your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, do hit like, share, and subscribe for more such content and amazing videos.